In just one season as Nebraska's offensive coordinator, we were able to revamp their offense, lead the Huskers to a Big Ten championship and a Rose Bowl victory with a top 10 ranked finish. But we wanted more, so naturally, we decided to accept the 3-year contract extension, and with 2 of our top 3 wideouts heading to the NFL draft and our starting quarterback graduating, the road back to the championship would be anything but easy. We had major holes to fill on this offense in recruiting, and we managed to pull together a deep freshman class led by standout number 4 wideout Lance Burley. In the offseason, Smothers' hard work paid off big as he prepared to lead our offensive attack back to the Big Ten championship and beyond, and Irving heads into the season as our starter with a deep running back pool just behind him. At wideout, our Huskers have a deep group led by Brown, Palmer, Garcia-Castaigne, and redshirt freshman making his debut with Bonner. Preseason rankings have the Crimson Tide leading the pack in the top 25 as we come into the season starting out at number 19. And early picks show us winning the Big Ten West over Iowa and finishing second overall to the number 6 ranked Buckeyes, who will be out for blood for sure versus us this season. And we would kick things off on the road at Colorado week 1 as Smothers would connect deep to Palmer 25 yards out, give us the first touchdown on our second season. Smothers connects. Second quarter 7-7 on the pool right there. Irvin Jr. out of the Wildcat, able to go downfield near midfield as he would cross down at the 49-yard line. A huge run, which would set up just a few plays later. Smothers rolling out to his right, connects deep downfield to Garcia-Castaigne, the big 28-yard reception. Just 2 plays later, second and goal on the triple option, pitch out to Irvin. The first touchdown on the season for Gabe Irvin Jr. makes it a 14-7 Husker lead. Second half, same score. Now Smothers rolling out as it's its first interception, a bad throw picked by Bethel Jr., second turnover of the game. Late third quarter, how would Smothers respond after the INT? But he hits deep here to Garcia-Castaigne, 37 yards, which was set up later on first and goal. This pass across to him, a one-handed snag, 8-yard touchdown reception. Take a look at it again. A top play for the season as we head to the fourth quarter with the 21-7 lead, make it 28-7. Chris Hickman, 32 yards, a touchdown, and that would be all she wrote. A 35-7 victory here in week 1 against Colorado. Time for the home opener against Northern Illinois. The number 16 Huskers will start things off as Smothers on the first possession on the read option, able to take it all the way to the end zone. A 52-yard run for the junior quarterback. 3rd and 15, first quarter hits across to Garcia-Castaigne, who's come up clutch, breaking tackles, 23 yards for the Husker first down. Very next play on the triple option, Smothers takes the hit but pitches out to Grant, who would break a tackle, juke back, and get inside the 10 to the 5, which would then be capped off the halfback screen to Gabe Irvin Jr., make it a 14-0 Husker lead. Late first quarter, 14-0, 3rd and 12, but a deep shot. Smothers connects to Palmer as Palmer would take it down to the 1-yard line, which would be capped off on the read option. Smothers 1 yard out, takes it to the end zone, makes it a 21-0 lead. Second quarter, 2nd and 1. Here comes Ramir Johnson getting in on the action. A 10-yard run out and makes it a 28-7 lead. It's all Huskers here as we now pick up before the half. Another connection, this one to Alante Brown as it's a 45-yard touchdown reception from Smothers. 35-14 as we pick up now third quarter, 38-14 no longer, make it a 45-14 lead as we would go on to win in week 2, 58-14 as the offense explodes. And coming into this matchup against Louisiana Tech, you saw the numbers were one of the top offenses as Irvin Jr. would get us started on a run 7 yards out. Couple plays later, Smothers connecting into Ramir Johnson, great blocking downfield, sets us up, 21 yards, touchdown, Huskers. Tied up second quarter as we connect on a 2nd and 10 to Trey Palmer, 16 yards, which would then connect on a 3rd and 4. Palmer with his first touchdown of the game, make it a 14-7 lead. Just before the half, 35 seconds, and here is Alante Brown. A nice play, 3rd and 10, converts and sets up on the option. Ramir Johnson getting into the end zone, make it a 21-7 lead heading into the break. Second half, just under 3 minutes. Smothers able to connect out to the right to our tight end Fadone the second. Nobody near him as he's able to cut across a 25-yard play, which would then be capped off by a broken tackle triple option. Here is Anthony Grant, his first touchdown on the season, 28-7, and it would be another great offensive explosion, 35-14 the victory. Moving in now to our first Big Ten competition. On 3rd and 10, a connection to Irvin Jr. from Smothers, able to get into the red zone, down inside the 10, 1st and goal. 10-3, now second and goal. Ramir Johnson takes it in and does the rest. A 17-3 lead, Huskers here in the Big Ten opener. 2 minutes remaining in the half, and a bad throw across, nearly intercepted by Scruggs. Picking up second half, here is a handoff to Johnson off the quick jet, and it is a 12-yard run, which would set up on a 3rd and 3. Here we go with the fake action as we hit it back to Irvin. The trickeration nearly pays off for a touchdown, but will be capped off just one play later by Logan Smothers. 27-3 Huskers. As we would hang on, there was a little bit of a comeback, 34-27 though, as we now move into the biggest matchup of the year. Now it's number 3 versus 5, as we've been led by our defense by this point. As you see, Eric Chenander, he's done an incredible job as our defensive coordinator, as we have our black uniforms on. It's a big matchup, 2nd and 7, down by 7, but no longer is Fedone able to get us down inside the 10. It would make a 1st and goal, but unfortunately not able to cap it off with a touchdown. A 3rd and 4, nearly intercepted. We'd have to settle for a field goal. Very next possession, Bonner on a 3rd and 1, able to juke back, cut through, 1st down, 17 yards. And then down the middle of the field, Bonner with another reception would make it a respectable play here for a 3rd and 10. Caught by Ramir Johnson, makes it a 10-7 Husker lead. And with seconds remaining in the half, tied at 10, a slant is now Janiron Bonner with his first touchdown reception, makes it a 17-17 game as we now pick up 3rd quarter. A terrible pass nearly intercepted by Dunn as we pick up now 4th quarter, 24-20. Trying to get back in it. Garcia Castaigne doing all he can with a 34-yard reception. 4 minutes and counting remaining in the game, and a terrible miscue right there as our receivers ran into each other. Interception, 1st turnover of the game for the Huskers. And with under a minute remaining, down by 4, trying to connect deep, a underthrown pass picked by Ransom, and that would be all she wrote here on our home turf. Defeated by number 3 Ohio State. 2 turnovers in the game. As now we take a look at some of the big recruits. Joel Smith, one of the top quarterbacks in the country, committed, as well as one of the top receivers with Andre Anderson. So against Penn State on the road, how would these Huskers bounce back? Scoreless, here we go with a 3rd and 1 as Irvin Jr. converts. And then on 1st and goal, off the bubble, Alante Brown would take it to the house. 7-0 Huskers. Midway through the 1st quarter, 2nd and 5. 7-0 your score, but no longer, as it is Dakotas Crawford with the best name in football, makes it a 14-0 lead for Nebraska. Early 2nd quarter, 14-0. Here is Bonner. He catches, he jukes as he gets across down inside the red zone for the Huskers. We've just had numerous people step up, including Palmer, as he takes it off the option on the quick. It's a 4-yard run as we now on the next possession pitch on the triple option, and Irvin gets us near midfield. And just before the half, you continue to see this offense make strides as we connect across to Irvin Jr. Everybody in this offense is laying hands on the ball as we are able to get a big win back, 35-18. Let's head on and take on Purdue. Now the number 8 Huskers taking on Purdue as Ramir Johnson up the middle picks up 15 on the run. 3rd and 10 now. Smothers trying to convert as he has a laser right there to Palmer, a 1st down conversion, which would then be capped off on the read option by no other than Logan Smothers. Touchdown Huskers. Early 2nd quarter, 4th and 2, trying to convert. Smothers scrambling out to his right as he's able to squeak through into the end zone. A 14-0 lead. Now make it 21-0 as Gabe Irvin Jr. takes it 5 yards out. 21-7, we pick up 2nd half, but a deep pass nearly picked as it was underthrown by Smothers. And now on a 3rd and 5, trying to convert, there is Ramir Johnson, takes it 8 yards out. Touchdown Huskers, 28-7. And then a deep ball thrown here, 3rd and 8, Irvin able to take it deep inside the red zone and makes it a 1st and goal, 3 yards out. And that would be capped off by a touchdown, 35-7 victory. Now the number 1 team in the Big Ten West and currently 8th in the college football playoff polls. Heading into Ryan Field against Northwestern, this was a trap game in every way as early on Smothers struggling. 1st and 10 now, trying to get something back on the triple option. Irvin Jr. breaks a tackle, gets across midfield to the 20 and tackled down about the 17. And after a sack and a penalty, 3rd and goal as Smothers just trying to get something going, thrown off, 12-yard reception, but would not be able to even cap in the field goal. Picking up with a minute remaining in the quarter is a nice pass down to Brown, which would set up a 1st and goal read option as Smothers would take it into the end zone. Picking up in the 3rd quarter, 14-7 deficit, but Alante Brown trying to do his part as he jukes past one, gets into the red zone, 1st and 10 Huskers. Smothers on a 2nd and goal finds his target, Alante Brown, wide open 3 yards out, would tie this game up as we now head to the deep in the 3rd quarter, 2nd and 6. Smothers showing the legs, taken off down the sideline, gets out of play for a 26-yard scramble. 141 left in the third, 3rd and 17. Conversion though, as Dakotas Crawford, 22 yards, sets up a 1st and goal as Irvin Jr. powers his way into the end zone, giving the Huskers their first lead of the game. With just under 2 minutes remaining, we are tied at 20 and trying to do our part. Garcia Castaigne able to break a tackle into the end zone. Touchdown, as you would think that would do it, as the Huskers defense though would relent and allow a touchdown. With seconds remaining, we would head to overtime here on the road, where Irvin Jr. 2nd and 11 would make it now a 3rd and inches, and they got the stop as it's a 4th and inch play. Smothers trying to get us the tie to go to second overtime, but it's dropped. Western would upset the number 8 ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers, a dropped touchdown, 34-27. Let's head to the road against Illinois. And in the snow against Illinois, it was tough throwing conditions, as the first pass of the game was picked by Curry, and Illinois was able to set up a beautiful touchdown as they take a 17-0 lead, with Smothers struggling in this environment. And 3rd and inches, trying to get something going in the second half, he connects to his tight end Hickman, and then on his 2nd and 10, Smothers rolling out right, connects to Garcia Castaigne, would jump into the end zone and make it a 17-10 deficit for the Huskers here in the 3rd. 17-10 still the score. Irvin Jr. on the reception, able to convert. 1st and 10. Smothers now finding some rhythm, finds Ramir Johnson, jukes back, 1st and goal. Very next play, 1st and goal on the triple option. Irvin Jr. powering through the arms of Illinois, makes it a 17-all game as we get ready to head into the 4th. And with 3:13 remaining in the game, an ill-advised pass over the middle picked by Coleman, and it will be an ill-advised decision. 2nd turnover from the Huskers. Unfortunately, Smothers not able to connect here on this 3rd down conversion, and the defense able to bail us out. With under a minute remaining, Smothers connects across to Alante Brown, which would get us in field goal position. And with 1st and 10 with under a minute remaining, Dakotas Crawford with a touchdown reception, 24-17 Huskers. But once again, the defense fails us with a play to end the game. Down by 7 as the defense allowed a touchdown. Garcia Castaigne does his part and ties this game up. We would head to a 2nd overtime. And in the 2nd overtime, here we go with the screen pass. Irvin Jr. powering through into the end zone, 38-31. And again, the defense allowed a touchdown. So 3rd overtime, as we would connect, the defense gets us the stop. John Iron Bonner does his part, would walk it off, 44-38. The Huskers pull it out here on the road. Another top 25 matchup at home against number 15 Wisconsin, as we bring in one of the best defenses in the country, now leading the Big Ten West as Ohio State leads the East. Scoreless first quarter, nice dump off there on the curl to Palmer as he picked up the first down, 12-yard reception. Then now Irvin Jr. on the ground, be able to break 1, break 2, break 3 or 4, picks up 11. But unfortunately on that play, Smothers would go down with an MCL sprain, out for the game. So Chubba Purdy in his stead with his first pass across the middle to Garcia Castaigne to get him going on the game. Unfortunately, after that pass, we were not able to make the field goal. So now 7-3 deficit. There is a bad pass by Purdy, picked by Hallman. First turnover of the game. Now down 14-3, Purdy takes a sack, 4th and 20. But after a touchdown, now down by 4, Alante Brown showing the clutch ability with a beautiful catch as he mosses the Wisconsin defender, setting up a 1st and goal, where we had the quick handoff to Brown himself as he does the rest. 19-14 Huskers, but no more as we pick up 4th quarter. Seconds remaining, down big, and trying to do our part. Alante Brown with the 1st down on the 4th down conversion. And just with seconds remaining, trying to get something going to make this a 1-score game as it connects to Ramir Johnson, the 3rd stringer, makes it a 2-point game. 2-point conversion. Hardberg scrambles out into the end zone, ties this game up as we would head to overtime, take the lead, and the defense would do the rest. On 4th and 6, we would survive and get the win against number 15 Nebraska, with Hardberg showing the clutch ability in overtime. That would give us the 5-2 conference record as we head now into our home field in the snow against Minnesota at 5-5. And Palmer breaking tackles sets us up here on a 1st and goal as Alante Brown would take it a few yards out and give us the 7-3 lead against the Gophers. 7-3, 2nd quarter, screen pass to Irvin Jr., and he would do the rest as he reaches into the end zone, 18 yards out, 14-3 Cornhuskers. Smothers rolling out left on a 1st and 10, connecting across to Palmer, who spins through the defense for a touchdown. Trey Palmer showing the flash, 21-3. And that would pretty much do it after this on the read option, a 28-12 lead as we would win 29-19. Huskers now looking for one more win to cap off a season and head back to the Big Ten championship. It is now a 7-all game with Gabe Ervin Jr. getting on the ground with a touchdown. Late in the first half, down 17-7. Across the middle, Smothers connects with Garcia Castaigne, which would then be capped off just one play later. And out of the locker room, the opening kickoff taken 103 yards by the Huskers gives us our first lead. Is now Ramir Johnson able to set us up now with a 21-yard reception. 3rd and 2, trying to convert. Smothers hits his target. There's Gabe Ervin Jr., first down and a goal. And just 2 plays later, on the beautiful slant, Alante Brown with a 3-yard reception, as the Huskers would win this one 31-17, which would set up a big rematch. Number 6 Huskers against the number 1 team in the nation for the Big Ten championship. Can we win this one and move into the playoff picture? So a big rematch, Ohio State out for blood. Can we pull off the upset? But early on, it was all about the Ohio State defense. A pick by Burke, and then Smothers feeling the pressure, able to connect though to Ervin Jr., finding some rhythm. 2nd and 13, Smothers deep downfield, connects with Trey Palmer, would give the Huskers the lead here in the second quarter. But late in the half, 13-3 deficit Crawford, Dakotas Crawford across midfield with a catch, 29 yards, which would then set up very next play. Deep ball laying it out there to Garcia Castaigne for 32. And with under a minute remaining, a 2nd and 5 interception, as there he is again. Burke with his second pick and second turnovers. We now pick up in the second half, down 20-7, but Bonner doing his part to try to get this offense going as we pick up fourth quarter. Here's our tight end, Chris Hickman, 20 yards, and then Smothers on a deep ball, laying out to Alante Brown, which would set up a 1st and goal for the Huskers. 1st and goal for the Huskers, a slant, and there's the beater. Trey Palmer, touchdown, would make it a 1-possession game. But unfortunately, the defense was not able to stop Henderson and company, as Ohio State would be able to kneel out the remainder of the clock as they would get back the Big Ten championship after losing it against these Huskers last year. There you see the Heisman winner, Juju McDowell, out of South Carolina, as we get ready for the Cotton Bowl against OU. There you see the playoff picture, Ohio State versus South Carolina and Georgia versus Clemson, as in these matchups, Ohio State would nudge out South Carolina and Georgia defeated by Clemson. And it's time for our matchup as we bring in one of the best offenses in the country against one of the best defenses in the country. Early on, Hickman with the first down reception. It would be capped off from 2 yards out by Logan Smothers, picking up now late first quarter. 7-all, but a deep ball laid out to Hickman. 32-yard touchdown reception, 14-7 Huskers. Second quarter, read option. Smothers showing you he's shifty and getting through the defense for a 14-yard scramble. And on a 2nd and 7, an ill-advised pass thrown and squeezed by Eaton. It would be the first interception of the game. Was set up now under a minute remaining in the half, 14-10. And on the option, finding Ervin Jr. somehow. And on a 3rd and goal, connecting across to Trey Palmer would make it a 21-10 lead for the Huskers heading in the locker room. Second half, 4:32, and here is Garcia Castaigne as we continue to lay it on the Sooners with a 28-10 lead, setting a new school record in passing yards and touchdowns for Logan Smothers. We pick up with under a minute remaining to seal the deal. Up the middle is Gabe Ervin Jr. And in 2 years straight, we've won 2 New Year's Six bowls, with the Rose Bowl first and now the Cotton Bowl, a victory over the rival OU, 28-24. And now you see the national championship scores. Ohio State gets it done 37-20 against Clemson. And here you see the school records that were set this season by Logan Smothers. And as we finish out year 2, we had a great top 10 finish. Smothers a little bit high on the interception front, but Ervin Jr. with a nice 1,000-yard rushing season, and the receiving core doing a great job as well, mixing it up. And we had quite a few options to finish this year, but we rejected offers from Buffalo, Duke, as well as Virginia and Texas Tech to remain with Nebraska for a 3rd year, as we had a lot of members of the team, including Johnson and Grant, graduating, Garcia Castaigne and Palmer graduating. So it was going to be a difficult season coming into year 3, but thankfully with the number 3 recruiting class led by Smith, who is a tremendous scrambling quarterback, Joel Smith, and Nick Robinson at halfback, as well as Andre Anderson at receiver. We're looking in a revamped Big Ten with UCLA and USC to remain as one of the top threats, with Smothers at QB, Ervin Jr. at halfback, Alante Brown, Bonner, Crawford, Burley, and company at receiver, and Fedone and Carney battling it out at tight end. This offense was stacked And we come into the season, and of course we were picked to win the Big Ten West and 3rd overall in the conference. And Smothers in his final season was picked to be All-American second team. So the question I pose to all of you, who should be our backup running back this season, and who should we decide to start at tight end coming into year 3?